You probably think I'm going to talk about insulin, but that's too obvious. If you're struggling with blood sugar swings, stubborn belly fat, or fatigue, then yes, insulin is high. We already know that. But what most people don't realize is that there are 3 other hormones that also affect insulin and control how it behaves. And until you fix those, you'll keep feeling stuck, no matter how clean you eat or how much you work out. These hormones might surprise you because they're not the ones that people typically talk about in the blood sugar world. So if you feel like you're doing everything right, but your energy, cravings, results still aren't improving, this might finally explain why. I'm Kait, a nutritionist who helps people to balance their blood sugar and reverse insulin resistance naturally. I've worked with hundreds of people, from busy moms to athletes to postmenopausal women, and one pattern always shows up. Yes, we want to focus on insulin, but we also need to take a look on the other hormones that impact it. Let's start with one that throws so many women off balance after 40. The first hidden hormone is estrogen. And before you click away thinking that this only matters for women, it impacts men too. Estrogen plays a key role in how both men and women respond to insulin. In women, estrogen helps your body stay sensitive to insulin, which keeps blood sugar stable and energy consistent. When estrogen levels drop, like during perimenopause or menopause, your cells stop responding properly. That's why so many women notice more belly fat, fatigue, or higher fasting glucose after 40, even when nothing in their routine has changed. When estrogen falls, the liver becomes more insulin resistant, muscle tone declines, and fat starts collecting around the abdomen. For men, estrogen is made from testosterone. If testosterone drops or if body fat increases, estrogen can fall too low or become imbalanced. And that leads to the same metabolic issues we see in women: higher blood sugar, lower energy, and stubborn belly fat. So estrogen balance isn't a female-only topic. It's a blood sugar topic for everyone. So here's how to support your estrogen naturally. Eat enough protein to maintain lean muscle, about 30 grams per meal or more. Lift weights, because muscle protects against insulin resistance. And prioritize quality sleep, because estrogen supports deep sleep cycles. So if you're doing everything right and your results have suddenly stalled, check estrogen first. Next is leptin, the hormone that tells your brain when you're full. When everything's working properly, leptin helps you to stop eating once you've had enough. But when your insulin stays high for too long, your brain stops responding to leptin. That's called leptin resistance. You feel hungry all of the time, even when your body actually has plenty of energy stored. And that's what makes it so hard to lose fat with insulin resistance. Your hunger hormones are confused. So what can you do if this is the case? I'm going to give you 4 tips on how to reset leptin. The first is to stop grazing all day. Stick to 3 satisfying meals instead of constant snacking. The second is to get 7 to 8 hours of sleep. Just one short night can spike leptin resistance. The third is to focus on protein, which we already touched on, because it keeps leptin signals strong. And finally, lower your stress. Cortisol raises both insulin and leptin resistance. Leptin is like the volume knob on your metabolism. Once it's balanced, everything else gets easier. And the third hormone group that plays a big role in your blood sugar, it's your thyroid hormones: TSH, T3, and T4. Now, your thyroid itself is a gland in your neck, but what really matters are the hormones it produces. TSH comes from your brain and tells your thyroid to make T4, which then converts into the active form, T3. T3 is what actually controls how quickly your body burns energy, digests food, and uses glucose for fuel. When T3 levels are low, your metabolism slows down, your energy drops, and your cells stop using glucose efficiently. That leaves more sugar floating in your bloodstream and makes you more insulin resistant. You might notice signs like you feel tired even after a full night of sleep, you gain weight easily or find it harder to lose, you have cold hands and feet. It can also cause constipation or slow digestion, and brain fog or lack of motivation. And here's what's important. A normal thyroid test doesn't always mean that your hormones are optimal. If T4 is not converting properly into active T3, your body can still act hypothyroid, even if your lab numbers look fine. So how can you support your thyroid hormones naturally? Well, the first thing you can do is to eat enough iodine. So many people, and especially women, are not getting enough in their diets. So we're talking things like eggs, seaweed, and seafood. Next is to get selenium and zinc from meat, Brazil nuts, and pumpkin seeds. You also want to make sure that you're not under eating. because this can significantly impair your thyroid function. And finally, you need to manage your stress and get enough sleep, because cortisol can block the conversion of T4 to T3. When thyroid hormones are balanced, insulin works more efficiently and your metabolism starts firing again. And I can't skip this one, even though it's talked about often, because cortisol ties everything together. Cortisol is your stress hormone. It tells your liver to release stored sugar when you're in fight or flight mode. That's great if you're running from danger, but not so great if you're running on caffeine and deadlines. Chronically high cortisol keeps blood sugar high, even if you're eating a good diet. To keep it in check, get sunlight early, eat a balanced breakfast with protein, make sure you get daily walks, and give yourself some actual downtime. Your hormones respond to safety, not stress. Well, I mean, they do respond to stress, but not in the way we want them to. So to recap, the 3 hidden hormones that are impacting your blood sugar are estrogen, leptin, and your thyroid hormones. And cortisol ties them all together by influencing each one. Balance these and your insulin will finally have room to work again. Now, if this clicked for you, make sure you check out my video from earlier in the week. It's a no-nonsense plan to reverse insulin resistance before 2026. I'll link that on the screen now if you want to check it out. And make sure to click subscribe so you don't miss out on next week's video. The morning habit that could secretly be keeping you stuck.